and Lahm have really started to combine. Vidal keeps it and fires. Fired at pace and on target, and it's well, it looks routine, but it is a smart save from Ospina.
Yeah, he's held it well, Ospina. The worrying thing is, you see Vidal finds a little bit of space. It's how deep Arsenal are. Ospina, the ball's going at him, and he had to collect it. He had to keep hold of it as well. There's Lewandowski, who's following in.
Bayern can't find a way forward. They revert back to Alonso to start the process a different route. Robben's effort! Brilliant! Absolutely perfect from Arjen Robben. When he shoots, he scores. What a shot that was. What a great start for Bayern Munich. Inside 11 minutes, Bayern 1, Arsenal 0. Arjen Robben with a moment of magic.
Absolutely magnificent. He's been in scintillating form previous to today. He scored 7 in 11 starts. Arsene Wenger will be disappointed in the manner in which the goal was conceded, though. Arjen Robben, everybody knows the player that he is. There is no way Arsenal should be allowing him to go on in his favoured left foot. Coughlin allows him to go past him. Take nothing away from the finish. It's exquisite. But how you afford space and time for a player like that on his left foot, when he can do that to you, you're asking for trouble.
Well, it gets better from every... and to make a perfectly timed tackle. Possession lost by Iwobi, though. Robben is going to have another go. Different sort of shot. Another one on target.
We know what he's capable of. We've already seen that from his first goal, and still don't seem to have learnt the lesson. And then Wider is allowing him to come inside in his favoured left foot. And for me, they can't keep doing that. He's already showed what he is capable of. He's a willing runner that can get on the end of the balls.
Well, Sanchez is full of confidence and wants this. It might be Ozil's chance to get in the game. It is Mesut Ozil, spilled by Neuer, and it's just behind. 2 ricochets and an Arsenal corner results. Oh no, it doesn't. Flags up. Offside. That's rough luck on me. Just a little brighter.
Well, that's this opportunity again for Ozil. You can see there, I think, is it actually
Xhaka. Taken short and quick. And what's the referee giving here? A penalty to Arsenal. Bayern Munich's players can't believe it. There was barely even a request for a spot kick from the Gunners' players. But referee Milorad Mazic has pointed to the spot, and Arsenal might have a way back.
Certainly is, against a run of play. See the Bayern Munich players leading their innocence. I think that is a penalty. Alonso, the first thing he does when the penalty is given, he looks at Lewandowski and says, why? Why in the box are you taking chances, taking that touch? Clear your lines. So he only has himself to blame there, and you can see why the referee's giving it. He doesn't see the Arsenal player coming at him. It's a decision he's had to make, and I think it's the correct one.
Alexis Sanchez has only just taken up penalty duties for Arsenal. He scored 2 out of 2. He netted from the spot against Hull City in the Premier League on Saturday. Sanchez versus Neuer. Saved by Neuer, and Sanchez can't profit from the rebound. He has now, though. He kept his cool. He kept his eyes on the ball. He's got Arsenal back in the game. Third time lucky for Alexis Sanchez. Bayern 1, Arsenal 1.
Brilliant from Sanchez. Not so much the penalty, but the follow-up. And Neuer, he's absolutely fuming with his teammates, because look at the reaction when we see the replay. Look at the reaction from the players. I think they're too bothered. They want to try and congratulate Neuer, especially after this one. When the ball comes to Sanchez, nobody really gets close enough to him to put a challenge in. And that's a magnificent finish after he nearly did mess up. Even the second opportunity, he fluffs at that one, but then the second one, his first touch, second touch in the back of the net. Full credit to Sanchez the way he finishes it off. But the goalkeeper, Neuer, looking at his players, he's done the hard work, he's made the save. Why are you not?
Costa. Here's the clip across to Alaba. Blocked by Bellerin. I think it came straight off his middle. Bayern are insistent that it was a deliberate block by the arms. It does hit his hand.
Yeah, they've got a point. They have got a point. You see, Bellerin turns away just to get out of the situation.
Let's see if anything can follow up here. It's Thiago. And he's kept in, it's Lewandowski. And it was just too high for him.
Vidal does really well at the far post to put this back in the direction of Lewandowski. A little bit disappointed from that he's been in and he hasn't been able to get the shot on target, but just going back to the...
Obviously, Chamberlain arriving now. Hummel's a little flat-footed. Behind Ozil. Saved by Neuer, it was hit with some ferocity by Xhaka.
It's a great strike from Xhaka, and they work it really well. Oxlade-Chamberlain makes a fantastic run. Lovely ball back. Good strike from Xhaka, and it's been so much better from Arsenal these last 10-15 minutes. Playing higher up the pitch, not allowing Bayern Munich to try and bring someone in of the same calibre.
Lovely exchange between Costa and Alaba. And that was... Lewandowski finding the ball just arrived at him a shade too quickly. We've seen him put those in though.
Yeah, it's a fantastic run. He looks back at it, and it just halted his run by a split second. Maybe could have got above the ball, but fantastic play from Alaba. Great ball in. Movement from Lewandowski to get in between Koscielny and Gibbs as well.
Six for the club altogether. In from Alonso, flick goalwards but wide. The referee was just asking his assistant whether there was an offside. Goal kick, I'm pretty sure, is the call.
It's a fantastic ball in from Alonso. Some players probably just dropping a little bit too deep too quickly, so Spina really couldn't come out in that situation. There's no way he could get there, but you see three Bayern Munich players free as well.
I think it was Hummels with the final touch. And then towards Robben. Sanchez through to Ozil. It's a well-timed run. Saved by Neuer. Lahm calmly clears. Ending the half looking like the stronger team, and that is where the half ends, and it's been 45 minutes of non-stop entertainment and action. Arjen Robben with a quite beautiful goal to give Bayern the lead in the 11th minute of the match. Arsenal, though, crept their way back into things. Alexis Sanchez might have missed. So Bayern Munich get things going again. No changes having been made by...
He's taking advice from the linesman, and it's spot on.
Robben. Lahm. Heading goalwards and in! Lewandowski puts Bayern in front again. A moment of indecision from David Ospina. He took a step towards the ball, thought better of it. Next thing he knows, he's picking it out of his goal. Lewandowski scores yet another goal for Bayern Munich. They lead Arsenal 2-1.
First of all, it's the first time they get 2v1 down the side. Iwobi doesn't trap Lahm. It's a fantastic ball in. Lewandowski gets up really well ahead of Mustafi. But we spoke about the goalkeepers, the difference in height, the height advantage Czech has. Ospina makes that decision to come and then he steps back. By the time he's stepping back, he's always slipping, he's always heading back towards his goal, but it's the indecisiveness from him not to come and try and collect that ball. But it was all about the movement down the right-hand side from Robben and Lahm, which led to the goal and the celebration from Neuer.
The goal early in each half from the German chap. It was too strong for Xhaka. Robben on the run. Lewandowski. And that's taken. At the moment for Arsenal. A goal behind again, and having seen their general at the back, Laurent Koscielny, limp off injured. And with their goalkeeper suddenly looking uncertain too. He was almost a casualty having to leave the game at the same time as Koscielny. And Bayern are in again! And they've scored again! Thiago gives them clear air in the tie. run ragged.
Yes, the finish from Thiago, but just watch and admire the awareness and the touch from Lewandowski. It's all about this man. It's all about the ball that he plays in for Thiago. Just keeps himself on side, gets in between, gets in a fantastic position. That is world class. And the finish isn't bad either. But it's all about the ball from Alonso, fantastic, but the presence of mind, the awareness from Lewandowski and the run from Thiago. And you've got to say, Bayern Munich, since they got the second goal, they've looked like the team more likely to go on and get the next goal as well. Breathtaking from Lewandowski.
In the space of 2 minutes, the great Polish number 9 scores a goal, makes a goal, and Bayern Munich are where they want to be.
The answer is probably no.
Through to Lewandowski, around Ospina. Ospina with a desperate dive at the feet of the number 9, but Lewandowski keeps going, and it's onto the bar, and Robben's in, and it's blocked and behind. Robben says handball, referee says corner.
Well, they're all over the place at the moment, Arsenal. They really just need to get a grip and say, listen, we need to get things right at the back first. First and foremost, we don't concede again. Forget about getting back into the game by scoring a goal. You can see Robben and Alonso there, adamant that Gibbs has handled it on the line. Takes the deflection, which makes it hit the crossbar there. Here's the talking point as the ball's played back in. And you know what? He's got a huge point. And the man who's got the best...
Robben again. Ospina hesitant again, but that's a super save. He thought about coming for it again, but my goodness, was he ready when Martinez met it?
Oh, Martinez can't believe it. You see Ospina takes that shredded touch, steps back. What a save it is. You've got to give him credit. Firstly, okay, he's not covered himself in glory, trying to come out for a cross that's never going to win, but his reactions to it, world-class reactions there.
Martinez has never scored in the Champions. As we mentioned earlier, the only Bayern player yet to score this season in the team today. Vidal goes for it. Bayern are absolutely all over Arsenal, trying to take the tie away. That's Thiago! Too much power for Ospina. Bayern too strong for Arsenal. Thiago has 2, Bayern Munich have 4, and they have 1 foot in the quarter-finals.
The defending, in particular from Mustafi here, and the ball comes out, they just don't clear their lines. Never look like clearing the lines. And it's once again nobody taking responsibility. Just watch Mustafi here. Lets it bounce in the box. You cannot do that. And then the force to Thiago. Okay, he takes a slight deflection of Xhaka. You've got to say Bayern Munich deserve it, but once again the defending from Arsenal leaves so much to be desired. Clear your lines. Do not allow it to bounce in your own box. That's exactly what Mustafi does, and because of that, they end up paying the price.
Ospina wrong-footed by teammate Granit Xhaka, but it's undoubtedly Thiago's goal. Bayern are in the move for more. That's Vidal. Another one that was on its way into the net. Ospina down to save.
It's a very good save as well. It bounces just in front of him.
There's Alonso. Returned by Vidal. Nearly another chance for Lewandowski, who's tumbled as Mustafi went in to win it. Win it he did.
It's causing a lot of discomfort, but... challenge again for Mustafi, wins the ball cleanly, but then it's Lewandowski.
Away by Gabriel, it's back to Thiago. Where did he come from? There's Javi Martinez. Lewandowski can't dig it out, and Ospina's gathered the ball. The referee's quickly in to stop anything escalating. I don't think it's going to. Ospina copping a bit of flack from Bayern's fans again.
He has every right to go for it, Lewandowski. He sees the ball there, he feels he can win it. Sees it ends up coming through. Ospina goes out to get there. Lewandowski feels he still can win it. I think there's a little bit of frustration because I think there's a little bit of a kick out afterwards from Lewandowski.
Trouble is, Bayern have been covering that ground with the ball. Into Robben. Robben with another chance, just too high this time. In fact, it was tipped high by Ospina.
Arsenal play the way that they play, and that will never change.
Thiago. Douglas Costa. Costa's gone for goal. Ospina tips another one behind.
Ospina has been Arsenal's best player for the conceded 4 goals. Once again, he's been really good there as well, because Lewandowski has gone across him. It's a fantastic save, and Vidal just trying to get it at the far post, but he's been Arsenal's standout player. Yet they've conceded 4 goals.
Walcott. Walcott onto it again. Nobody to square it to yet. Tried to pull back to Giroud. At least there's a bit of spirit from Arsenal here. They're trying to find a second.
Walcott did really well playing the one to use his pace to get beyond, but like you just said, there was nobody really coming up in support.
Semi-final exits in the 3 seasons that followed under Pep Guardiola. For Arsenal, it does look as though, or it looks as though it might be, another Bayern Munich goal before the end. It's Muller! He needed that. He needed that more than Bayern Munich needed that tonight. Thomas Muller's been struggling to buy a goal this season. If ever there was a game in which he would get one, he's not been on long, but it's surely taken this right away from Arsenal before the first leg is done. Oxlade-Chamberlain dithered. Thiago picked out Muller, who picked his place. Bayern Munich 5, Arsenal 1.
And cool and calm from Muller. Dreadful mistake from Oxlade-Chamberlain. As we talked about Muller at Ingolstadt, looking up to the skies, asking if the powers that be are playing tricks on him. He certainly played a trick on Arsenal's back four then.
If there was a scoreline that Arsene Wenger in particular would not have wanted tonight, 5th tier of English football. All over in Munich. All over as far as the entire tie is concerned, you would think. Because Carlo Ancelotti's Bayern Munich have done a job on Arsene Wenger's Arsenal and blown them away in the second half. 1-1 at half-time. Arsenal doing their bit. A good job half done. But 3 goals in 10 minutes fired past David Ospina, took it away from them. Lewandowski, Thiago with 2. And then at the end...
Well, it's first and foremost, Rio, this game's pretty much done, isn't it, really? I mean, you can't see any way that Arsenal could come back against this team.
No, I mean, if they're out, they could put their reserves out now next week and the rest of the team for the run-in the Premier League, I think, because this game's well and truly over. I think it was just disappointing to see the way they just rolled over. The lack of fight, the lack of leadership, the lack of direction in the team, especially after such a promising first half, the way it finished. We thought they had a chance of coming out and really getting a positive result to take back home, but I mean, the key factors we've mentioned before, I think with Koscielny, when he came off, they lost. They were just disorientated and all over the place.
I mean, here he is hobbling off there, and it really did seem to... I mean, they just weren't the same side after it. I suppose the goals followed, and whether he'd have made a difference ultimately, I suppose it's hypothetical, but...
Yeah, Mustafi had not the best game as well. I mean, you've seen it here.
You look there and you see
he looks at Lewandowski, he sees him coming, he's moving slowly in the middle, so he has time to get in possession, but he's not ready, he jumps too late, he's in the head too late. Yeah. Of course, Lewandowski is an amazing striker, and of course he uses his body, and we can talk about, is it a little foul or not? I think it's okay. It's international class, and it's just...
It's a great...
They wanted it, they really wanted it. They go in the box and they go for the goal.
Michael, though, Mustafi has to win that ball. That ball's coming in the box. There's no way you're getting there ahead of me.
Of course.
Because you have so much time to deal with that, and it's almost criminal that you've allowed it so fantastically. Great direction.
I'll give credit to Lewandowski. He rose beautifully and headed it magnificently.
But he can see his number, his body shape.
No
is all
divine right for defenders to be better in the air than strong.
No, but when all of that's going on and that build-up, don't switch off. Yeah. Be in the box, deal with the cross, and then you keep the goals out. And that Lewandowski, for me, completely changed the game.
Yeah, and then almost immediately, wasn't it? Just a couple of minutes later, Thiago made it 3-1. And again, I think we found a bit of Mustafi that is quite bizarre.
Well, I just don't understand what he's trying to do here. He's trying to talk to his fullback. We've got him here. Beautiful flick there from Lewandowski. Thiago, he runs into the space. He can't believe the time he's got. But just look here at Mustafi. Look.
So
what's he looking at? He's got.
What is he telling him?
He should be sliding across to deal with it. Forget about that. We'll argue later. Deal with the ball in front of you.
He's worrying about things that are not even going to affect the game out wide. The middle of your box, the middle of the goal, between the sticks is where you're meant to be the centre half of that position when the ball's the centre of the pitch. And he's worrying about the full-back area.
Credit them, though. They will punish you.
What a gorgeous flick, though, from Lewandowski.
With the weak foot.
Beautiful awareness,
With the weak foot. I mean, the timing is incredible. I mean, Thiago was not even asking for the ball, but he already knew I will pass that ball, or actually I will try it, which is different class.
Just the spatial awareness of knowing where people are around you. It was beautifully worth another look, I think. Just at that little flick.
He is the complete number 9 now. I think we saw today from Lewandowski. He's hold-up play. When the ball gets delivered into the box, he can attack the ball, bully defenders. But this was a bit of
attention downstairs.
The finesse. The finesse was beautiful here.
We said his weak foot. We said he was the ultimate challenge, and he proved to be too big a challenge for the Arsenal defenders.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at 3-1, you're thinking, well, if you can just keep it at that, there's still kind of a little bit of hope. But 4-1, Thiago again.
Well, this one is so scrappy. I mean, who's taking charge of this? You know, I don't see a centre half going for any of these. Look, Koscielny, obviously off the pitch. It's Coquelin going for everything. You can't score from there. There's no. It's just too soft and too weak of goals.
I just think there's too many opportunities for them to get away, and then no one takes command, and no one has any conviction when they get on anywhere near the ball.
An element of fortune, obviously, there.
Edge of the box is a strike. And
I'm sorry for Ospina. We said, you know, what was he doing playing? He's probably Arsenal's best player.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Mentioned him there, and I suppose he was beaten by a wonder goal as well, wasn't he? But later on, we'll come to that shortly. But 5-1, Thomas Müller has not been scoring really very consistently like he does normally. Came on, and even he got in on the act.
Even he, yes.
Yeah.
He was struggling the last weeks and months, and he got a lot of criticism, even if he's so important for that team. But he, again, he picks up the ball, Oxley, in a position where he should not go in the dribbling, and losing the ball in that position, of course, it's a killer. And Müller,
yes,
was big for his confidence.
Yeah, well,
I can see how he celebrates. I mean, that's even for him a big moment at this moment.
In the end, Arsenal were mullered, weren't they? Completely.
I'll tell you, he's probably relieved not to have played in that game. It was Petr Cech, I imagine. I mean, Ospina, despite having 5 knocked past him, I mean, he really played brilliantly, didn't he? He had some great saves. You can't really fault him for any of the goals.
In the head of Martin.
And it started with a cracking goal from Robin, of course, which he had no chance with.
No, I mean, that goal could have been stopped earlier. And I mean, he's a great player, world-class Robin, but they showed him in on his strong foot and allowed him to bend it in. But there was a few deflections, great save there, reactions were phenomenal.
Wasn't it?
But sometimes you have your best games when you're not on the pitch, and Petr Cech probably has had that today. Because he wouldn't have wanted to be involved in this, I'm sure.
There's another save there.
Another great save.
It's just too much to ask of the goalkeeper, isn't it? You know, the difference between the two squads, they seem to be men against boys. They were physically bigger, stronger, and totally outclassed today, Arsenal.
And experience as well. Do you know what I mean? They look like the more experienced, more rounded team, completely, all over the park.
Yeah. What is experience is to deliver at the right time, to know to handle the pressure, and it seems like, especially how they start the game, if you see the faces of the Arsenal players, they were a little bit scared. There were not brave, exactly, and there was. If you show something, it starts at the tunnel, you know, before you go to the pitch. You know, guys, you know that. And,
it seems like we've got lots more to talk about. Let's take a little breather. Still to come before we finish at 10:30. We'll bring you the best of the action from the other game being played tonight between Real Madrid and Napoli. But next, we hope to hear from Arsene Wenger. Well, it was a great night for Bayern Munich, but a dismal one for Arsenal. Let's hear from their manager, Arsene Wenger. He's with Des.
Arsene, that was a brutally punishing second half. How do you explain that collapse?
It's difficult to explain. I felt that just before half-time we had 2 good chances to score the 2-1. We came back We played well. I think we were unlucky on the second goal because the referee gives corner for us, and the ball is on the pitch, and they play with the second ball, and we have 4 players who are not there, and we concede the second goal. And I think that's one, the second goal. And top of that, I think the most important in the second half, we lost Koscielny very quickly. He came off at 1-1, and suddenly it looked that we collapsed, and it's different mentally. We collapsed, and overall I must say they are a better team than us as well. They played very well in the second half, and we dropped our level, and we were a bit unlucky as well, but overall well done Bayern, they were better than us.
We know Koscielny's an influential and important player, but is that enough of an excuse for that collapse? And I mean, there must be a defensive inquest after that second half.
Look, I do not look for excuses. It's an explanation, because we look quite solid defensively, and after that, of course, it's very difficult. Just after a game, it's a shock, of course, to lose at that level. And on top of that, we made everything wrong, and the 5th goal shows that.
And the annoying thing is that you'd recovered from that setback at the Robben goal, and you actually looked like you were in control towards the end of the first half.
Yeah, we were, but this kind of games, you need a bit like going your side, and you need to be focused for 90 minutes. I felt the 3rd goal was a killer for our players, because after that we had no real response.
You've been in this job for many years. Is this one of the lowest points, that second half, just watching the game disappear so quickly?
Well, I feel I don't think that is the most important, but of course it's disappointing.
Are we talking miracles now to save this one?
Of course. I think we have to recover first and focus on our next game.
Thank you, Arsene.
Well, what did you make of that, Martin? You know him very well. He looked very dejected.
Well,
he wasn't really looking at Des during the questions.
Seemed particularly wounded there, Gary, and you know, that's where I fear for him, really, in terms of should he almost be protected from himself. I don't want it to be like a boxer that's been in a ring and needs to be, you know, taking too many punches. It's like, this is 20 years of work here. And that was almost becoming...
You lose that kind of legacy, or that...
He's been magnificent for the football club, there's no doubt. And this is a really very massive low point for him. And this will only bring forward the change that looks ever likely at the end of this season. I mean, that decision will be made, not now, but at the end of the season.
Do you think it will be made ultimately by Arsene Wenger eventually, whenever that time may come, or
I think
the board, or has he just got a free licence to carry on forever and keep...
I think it will be him that makes the decision. I think the realisation that decision needs to be made is even more apparent after tonight's performance, and you can see it almost in his eyes that he knows now that reluctantly he's probably going to have to hand over the reins to somebody else.
He talks about his disappointment, the way they collapsed, and he inferred that it was quite mentally, and that's something that's, I think, one or two other people have been critical of Arsenal's side, that mentally they're quite weak. Does that not necessarily come from the leadership, though? Yeah,
but I think that's been something that's been cited against Arsenal for the last few years, really. I think the mentality of the team seems weak, and it seems when situations get too tough, or there needs something sorting out, or you need to alter the way you play in a game, they don't seem to have the mentality to make a shift and for a positive outcome. And that's been the problem. I think the best teams find other ways to do things, and that's a mentality between a group of players that say, you know what, we're going to do it the ugly way today.
But do you see the kind of players in that squad?
What I don't see, I've said it for how many years, how many times I've said it sitting here.
It's all the same type of players.
After the game, in the change room.
People have been saying that for a long time.
In the change room, there's no one that goes in there and goes, you know what, what are you doing? You need to start running because you're affecting my chance of winning trophies. That doesn't happen. I don't see that happening in this team, and I think that's a problem, and everyone's too nice. That's a problem.
He talked about, didn't he, the incident for the second goal. I mean, he said he wasn't making excuses, but it kind of was an excuse, I suppose. We can clear that up, because we weren't quite sure what he was talking about, because you can see down there are 2 balls on the pitch. But, I mean, crikey, there's a lot of football to be played from there to the other end.
Yeah, I mean, the ball is in the box, in the 6-yard box, and there are 7 Bayern players as well. So there were enough Arsenal players behind the ball, I think 10 So
He's
it means
clutching
all
straws.
who could avoid this goal, and it was 100 yards to go. I think it's difficult to step up in this situation in front of the camera and explain goals, but this was a bit unusual, but it was surely not the reason why they lost 5-1 today.
It was down to their brilliance and the class that Bayern Munich had.
Kind of a bit of both, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, listen, maybe they could have got back into position much quicker. They could definitely 100% have actually dealt with the cross. But really, Bayern were just too good for us.
Well, it was an unusual occurrence, the thing with the two balls on the pitch. You don't see that very often. We're fortunate enough to have Howard Webb with us this evening. What did you make of that? Has Arsene Wenger got a point?
Hi, Gary. I don't think so, really. I think he was a little bit peeved by the fact that the corner was given first. It was a goal kick, and the referee was big enough to say, I've made a mistake, and it's a goal kick. And Manuel Neuer asked the ball boy for the ball to be thrown on. It's a multi-ball system. He's allowed to do that. And when he did that, the first ball was well off the pitch. Ozil brought it back on. Yeah. And then Neuer took the quick goal kick. So nothing really was wrong. The referee told Ozil to kick the second ball off, and away we went with the game. So it's kind of like clutching at straws. He's disappointed, of course, at the end of the game, but really there was nothing really wrong with this situation.
No, overall, the referee had a good game, Howard, didn't he?
Did really well, some big decisions. He called the penalty absolutely right. It took him maybe by surprise, but he saw it when Koscielny was kicked by Lewandowski. So in a big arena, he stood up strong. He made all the correct calls.
OK. Thanks very much, Howard, and for sticking there all evening. You see, you never know when you might need a referee on hand. I mean, the big talking point here is that, on our aspect, obviously Bayern Munich cruising through. You would expect Arsenal will go out once again, 7th consecutive year if they don't make some kind of miraculous recovery out again. Does the club itself have to look at itself and say, what are we? Do we want to go further forward? Do we gamble on another manager?
Yeah, I feel like I'm repeating myself again.
Yeah.
What is the remit from the Arsenal board to Arsene Wenger? That's the killer question. Is it qualifying for the Champions League, which he's done comfortably every year, or is it to go on and win the Champions League? Is it to go on and win the Premier League? And if once we get the answer to that, then you can say. But listen, I'll be disappointed if Arsene Wenger is remembered for this period of his management. He came to this country and revolutionised many parts of sports science and got players thinking the correct way about football and their health and their lifestyle. And he has to be remembered and for being successful winning trophies.
It's quite extraordinary. There are not that many clubs that, you know, of Arsenal's stature around the world that well, I can't think of anyone that's kept a manager that long without having success. Obviously, in the early days, well, lots of success in the early days. Does he warrant eternity in the job?
Success is relative. I mean, obviously the quality can't match the expectations over a long period because we are in Germany. I mean, if we talk about Arsenal, it's always a high-profile club, you know, successful, high standard, but it's not enough, you know, to win a real trophy, which means the Premier League or going even for the.
It's been too many years, Michael, hasn't it, of young players developing, waiting for it to turn around, and it never. Where is that trophy coming from? 7 years now, Champions League, not beyond this stage. 2006, they were in the final. And what has happened since then? It's been too hollow for the Arsenal fans, and they want a proper trophy, and they feel the Premier League.
He has divided Arsenal fans for quite a while, hasn't he, Martin? You're either a Wenger out man or you're a Wenger man through and through. But it does seem to be that more and more creeping towards that Wenger out side, don't they?
The intelligent thing is for the manager to find the right moment to leave. All the good leaders have done it successively. They know their exit plan, and that's something now that the club will strongly look at, I'm sure.
And one other thing, I suppose, as well, if the club is still struggling, they don't go through in the Champions League and they don't challenge for the title, which looks a long shot at the moment, does there come a stage where they're big stars, the Ozil, Sanchez, for example, their contracts are kind of winding up? Do they depart? Is this kind of a crux moment for us?
I think that's a huge moment. You've got the management situation, but you've also got the top players at the club. Sanchez is definitely one of them. Ozil, these two players are going to have people caught in them, and they're at a point in their careers where they're saying, you know what? It's not about money, it's about winning things. These guys want to win things. You see what he's like, Sanchez, when he's with his national team, winning, that desire and hunger in his face. He's the one at his club.
We say that, Rio, and it's maybe doom and gloom, but what a huge platform for, maybe if we're talking already about the next manager to come into, to what he's put in place, the sort of brand of football, the stadium, the platform is there for Arsenal to really push on. But you do feel now that...
It's also difficult, though, when you've had someone, as we saw at Manchester United with Sir Alex Ferguson, that's been so dominant at the football club for so long. It's difficult for the person to come in and change things
It's a big
dramatically.
change, a lot of change.
Yeah, but you can go a certain direction. The first thing I think is you have to sign the big players and give them other big players next to them that they can grow, like you said. And Özil, he's a great player, but he's not the kind of leader, you know, which we know from the, I don't use that word normally, but the old days, you know, this kind of where he also can look up a bit next to it when it's a difficult time, you know, and they 3-4 players looking at each other and they know, now we go. This Arsenal team, there is one looking to the other and try and ask for help, you know. That look like kids more or less sometimes.
Exactly.
It's not a team who's going over a long period, long term in the right direction. So there should be major decisions coming up.
I sense
which way I want to go.
There might be, Michael. I use the phrase "old days are locks." That's all I've got for
like that
nowadays. Coming up next, we'll show you what happened at the Estadio Bernabeu this evening, where Real Madrid were up against Napoli. A few goals in that one too. Welcome back to Munich, where tonight Bayern smashed Arsenal by 5-0. The other game played this evening was in Madrid, where the holders met Italian opposition in Napoli. Here's the best of the action from tonight's first leg with commentators Chris Sutton and Peter Drury.
So let the game match the occasion. The indicators are that it should. Two teams goal-greedy, front foot, purveyors both of adventure. Real Madrid obliged by their history to attack, Napoli driven by their instinct. And the All-Whites are straight onto it with Ronaldo from Benzema and beaten out at his near post by Pepe Reina at the end of an extraordinary first 20 seconds.
Well, what a start from Real. Ronaldo at his best, driving down the left-hand side, and a terrific reflex save from Pepe Reina.
Here's hoping that has set the tone. 23 seconds in, the first shot on target. Koulibaly. Through by Hamsik, taken on by Insigne! Brightness of mind, fleetness of foot, alertness, and quite splendid accuracy, and extraordinarily, Napoli lead in the Bernabeu.
Well, we said Napoli had goals in this team. An extraordinary piece of awareness from Insigne. So he gets his head up, Navas out of position, you have to say, but what brilliant awareness to find that far corner. And this is very much game on, tie on.
Modric. Kroos. James. Face to face with Goulam, support from Carvajal. Lifted in towards the head of Karim Benzema, who establishes parity for Real Madrid. Back where they started, and pretty promptly.
Well, the question was, could Real respond? And there's the answer. It's all about the ball in, the crossing, pop back, not enough pressure on the ball, the outside of his right foot. See Benzema, 6 yards out, generates enough power, and from that range, Pepe Reina, absolutely no chance.
Benzema, Modric, Cristiano Ronaldo has heaved it over. When you had your mortgage on the net bulging.
He's pointing at the assistant, I don't know what for.
Please flag me offside.
And you don't often say this, brilliant, fluent play, but what a miss from Ronaldo.
Carvajal, Ronaldo, Benzema! Outside of the post.
Wonderful ball from Ronaldo, and that is another gilt-edged chance for Real.
Ronaldo away from Diawara, now concerning Koulibaly. Support from James. Ronaldo. Ronaldo's pulled back, James left it for Kroos, who scored! Crisply and certainly, and Real Madrid have their lead.
Ronaldo does superbly, doesn't he? Breezes past Koulibaly to the byline, and then just has the awareness, doesn't he, to get his head up. It's a lovely weighted pass. It's a superb finish, a calm, composed, easy finish, or he made it look easy.
Napoli try to pass their way out of trouble, have passed their way into it. Modric, James. Benzema wanted the one. Oh, what a wonderful sight from Casemiro! A goal from the heavens! A once-in-a-lifetime connection, a la Zidane, for Casemiro, and Real Madrid are 3-1 to the good.
Well, Casemiro has absolutely thundered that in. It was sloppy play from Napoli. He must be all of 30 yards. He has no right to score from there, but what a connection.
Here is Cajon. Oh, what a chance for Mertens. And potentially a pivotal moment in the tie. If Dries Mertens scores there, Napoli have their teeth back in it.
And Napoli have to take these chances. It's a terrific ball. Gets it all wrong.
That's it for now. Just a gem of a football match. Terrific players playing beautifully. The final score, Real Madrid 3, Napoli 1.
Yeah, very good results in the end for Real Madrid, especially after trailing. Some decent goals in that game as well.
Oh, unreal. I mean, Nadal looked like he enjoyed them as well. But, it was, but no, I mean, Real Madrid at home, it's a
stunning
great
finish, wasn't it? Insigne.
The awareness to see where the keeper was. I mean, at first I thought, what's the keeper doing? But when you see it, again, the other angle, it was phenomenal. Great bit of strikers play there.
Yeah. Nice header from Benzema as well. Michael?
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, Carvajal's assist in here. Again, Toni Kroos. Yeah, he has this.
He makes that look so easy, doesn't he?
Absolutely, he has this fantastic finish with left and right foot, and it was important in that moment. And here, Casemiro.
What about that?
It's ridiculous.
What about
You just don't score that goals every day. Fantastic.
I have to do that in training on a regular basis, that one.
That's worth another look, isn't it, that one? Come on, we had a couple of replays of this. Don't see many struck this sweetly.
They all look surprised when he hit it. That's what I mean, when it goes in.
And it's 80%.
As well,
you know?
look at it.
Sometimes you think you have to hit really hard.
Sweet
but it's
as a nut.
Exactly.
Yeah. Could win it again, Gary, maybe.
Oh, we're going to have a look at this one. I mean, this was very, very astute. But there you go. And we're talking, funnily enough, Rio was just saying he likes the Napoli kit. And I'd just love you to share with us your views on the black
I was
kit.
talking about how overpowering it is, especially when the referee's wearing black as well. Played against Borussia Mönchengladbach many years ago.
Easy for you to
We had
say.
to get the referee to take his kit off at half time. It was change. He put a green top on. There were players everywhere.
Great stuff, mine. Fabulous stuff. Let's hear from Carlo Ancelotti, certainly the happiest of the two managers this evening. He's with Des.
Carlo, that was a stunning performance in the second half. Some of the best football you produced here.
No, we played really well. And also the first half, the first 20 minutes were good. After that, Arsenal had the opportunity to balance the game, to have a good opportunity to score the second goal. We started well the second half, and we had a good result for this match, but we have to play another match, and so we have to pay attention, because in some situation Arsenal was really dangerous.
But you completely turned it around in the second half. Why was that? What was the difference?
I think that the performance was good also the first half. Of course, you have to play against a strong opponent with a really good counter-attack, and we started well, and after we had a little bit problem when we conceded the penalty. It takes time to come back in the game, but second half was good.
Did we see the difference between a side that has a lot of experience at this stage of the tournament and a side maybe that doesn't get beyond the last 16?
Experience is important in this competition, of course, but also enthusiasm is important. I think for this character, I think we played with a strong character, with personality, and the first game was good.
Is it over now? It's pretty much done, isn't it? You're not going to lose from 5-1.
I have a lot of experience, and so I don't want to say nothing. I said it's only the first half. We have to play a second half in London, and we have to prepare well as we prepared this game.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Always respectful Carlo Ancelotti, but I'm not sure about the club's Twitter account, Bayern Munich English. They've just tweeted, same again next year, 5-1. A little bit cheeky, that, don't you think? Slightly, not exactly magnanimous in victory, but I suppose it's all part of the social media banter.
It's the way it is nowadays, isn't it? It's tongue-in-cheek, and sometimes the respect levels go out the window a little bit. But listen, I think this Bayern Munich team really put this Arsenal team to the sword, and they're going to enjoy it.
Purring, and I think that winter break when everyone's saying that Bayern are not in their normal form, it was just we were hoodwinked into thinking that they were brilliant tonight, and they were just waiting for this match just to spring into gear.
And I hope it helps Carlo Ancelotti as well to adapt even better than he already adapted. He's learning German, all these things, and with these results, they stepping forward, and it helps to understand his system, because it was a change after Pep, and people were starting a bit asking questions in terms of performances, but this was a fantastic one tonight.
Just what you want after a result like that is a trip in the fifth round of the FA Cup to a non-league side. Sutton.
Perfect, isn't
Dangerous.
it? AstroTurf pitch.
Yeah, AstroTurf pitch.
No stadiums, no stands around the pitch. It's going to be a very difficult.
Be a big test. Big tough times now for Arsenal. They've got to dig in.
Yep, roll your sleeves up and go on again to get some positive results and get some positivity back in the club.
Okay, thanks very much, Martin. Michael, always a pleasure. Rio, thank you very much indeed. That's it from us on a night that Bayern battered Arsenal in Bavaria by